Millionaire podcast, Charles Oglesby Todd. Billy, but you can call me Longball Billy, here with Miss Michelle Welch. Welcome to the show, y'all.
What's up? What's up, guys? Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. So we have an interesting guest today. This is one of my clients, her mentor, and we got to meet at InvestFest last weekend. And she has told me so many amazing things about him, and I'm going to let him kind of introduce himself. But we're so happy to have you here. This is our first episode coming back from InvestFest. So we have so much in tune for you guys, but let's get started on this interview with Mr. Sanchez here. So go ahead and let us know about you, Mr. Sanchez, what you got going on, where you're located, and what you are currently doing.
Cool, man. What's up, everybody? I'm Sanchez Berry. I've been an entrepreneur the last 7 years. I've tried every business from t-shirt print, truck company, after school program, mobile detail, you name it, I done tried it. Also teaching health and wealth to my clients. I've been able to get over a dozen people started with their businesses and help them grow and scale their business and take it to the next level. I also have a conference coming up October 22nd, the Health and Wealth Connect. I'm going to be showing you guys the disconnect that we've been having with health and wealth and show you how to make that connection.
You're muted, Michelle.
Sorry, guys. What do you think is the most, if you could leave one thing about health and wealth in our community in particular with Black entrepreneurs and everything like that, what do you think is like the biggest misconception that people take away from it?
I think a lot of people overthink the ability to become wealthy. They overthink it. I think it's just a whole bunch of small steps and disciplines that need to be put into effect to be able to get your health and your wealth on that level. And I think we don't talk about it enough in our communities because the simple fact to be wealthy, you got to be healthy. And if you ain't making enough money, it's hard for you to want to eat healthy.
Yeah.
You know, those foods cost a lot of money. Like,
yeah. It is more expensive to eat the greens and to make sure you're eating good quality meat and things like that. So as far as I know that do you have a gym in Atlanta?
Yes, I have a gym in Atlanta, in Duluth, Georgia. I also have a beauty bar with my wife. We in the same plaza, and I have a whole detail business now going on.
Wow. So you're a serial entrepreneur. So how does that work for you?
I love it, man. I always was the type of person to be able to juggle many different things at one time. I remember back in high school and I had 6 jobs at the YMCA, 6 different positions at one spot, just making myself more valuable. So me being able to just discipline my time to this business, it's been a little bit easier because I've been able to do it before.
No, that's so dope.
I'm kind of interested in the concept of getting that commercial space and that lease. What was that process like?
It was, man, you know what? It was easier than anybody ever told me. Like, it was easier than getting an apartment. All they wanted was the first month rent, last month rent, and the security deposit. And you printed off your own credit score. All I had to do was just show how confident I was in my business. And I had like 3 months in working the business. But they saw how much confidence I had in myself. It was like, I give it to this 24-year-old, and I've been there 7 years now.
How much was it when you how much were they charging you in the beginning?
Man, the crazy thing about it, I hit a sweet deal. I was paying $875 for 1,100.
That's a lot of space. 1,100 square feet is a lot of space. I tell people in California, I'm paying $2,000 a month for about 200 square feet.
What? Oh,
that's
man.
ignorant, huh? It's just a little office. A little office. They call it a 3-person office. They got a little window view with the lake, and that's what they charge me the premium. But I was like, this makes no sense. Is your rent about the same now, or is it a little bit more?
I got like a 3%. I got a 3% increase every year, so it's about, I would say it's almost at 1,000, or if not 1,000.
Jesus,
that's still not bad. That's great.
It's a wrap for California.
What?
Well, I mean, even in Florida, my office is only $600 a month, and it's like you see my office is like a double office. Like, I think it's just really where you're at, Charles. You're not in a good space.
Yeah,
I hate it here.
Yeah.
So Yeah, health and wealth. I was on Twitter and somebody was talking about how I think somebody had made a lot of money and then they like passed away really soon. And that's something that we see a lot in the African American community where you get success and it isn't, you end up like having issues with your health. I mean, we've seen it with Rick Ross, we've seen it with Lil Wayne, we've seen it with a lot of people. They have issues with their health. Why is health equal to or even greater than wealth? I think so much we look after the cars and we want the homes, but nobody's as ambitious about their health as we are about the possession things that we can get.
Yeah, and that's the craziest part about it, man, because we don't, in our community, we don't get preventative care. And the reason why we don't get preventative care is because you don't have enough money. When you don't make enough money, it's hard to live a healthy lifestyle, because you live a healthy lifestyle, you have to have money. It takes money to be healthy. And that's the craziest part about it, man. Just taking those preventative steps. Like, I know people who haven't been to the dentist since they get off their mom insurance. Like, not having life insurance on yourself, not having life insurance on your parents, and having to do cookouts and the whole nine for a burial. That's not how we gotta. No, that's the easiest way to create generational wealth, is by having an insurance policy. Is you just pay a little bit every month, and then somebody pass away, then it's the next step. But I think that it's the preventative care, and it's because we don't make it. Some areas, when I was doing some research, some areas from another area may be getting paid 20% more than somebody who's in a low income area. And if you really look at it, in low income areas, the food is higher, the gas is higher, and they got to do that to offset. I never really thought about it, but it's to offset it. So if somebody come in the store and they steal 2 packs of M&Ms and they buy 1 pack, they probably charge you enough for 2 packs anyway. So I've been able to see that where I live at in Atlanta, and where I got some of my friends where they live at. I'm like, dang, gas a whole dollar price up. So I see it from the business standpoint and as a consumer.
So when did you initially start the health and wealth journey? Like, when did it click for you that you wanted to be a business owner? Was it something you grew up in, or was it just something that you figured like that was the better steps for you?
I feel like I always was an entrepreneur. Watching my mom grow up, she used to sell hot dog plates, Polish sausages at the baseball field, and I see how she did, and I'm like, hold on, man, you ain't worked that hard for that. And so she gave me my first $20 to go to the store, buy some snacks, and I used to sell them at school. And I was that guy that sold juices, chips, whatever you needed, laptops, cell phones, from the age of 7th grade all the way up through 12th. I was just that guy. I knew I was going to get suspended every year, but my mom already had instilled it in me, like, hey, you don't supposed to be doing this, but you want to be an entrepreneur, let's do it. So I'm so glad that she was able to just have my back. They'll call home and be like, hey, Sanchez was selling chips and juices. She'd be like, what? Surprise. Then I get on the phone with her. She's like, you giving the money? I'm like, nah, I ain't giving the money. She's like, I bet. That type of
the crazy part about it is it might seem like some people will say like your parents are supposed to like take the side with the school, but the school, and I've never understood this. I never understood why like schools don't allow kids to sell things. That doesn't make any sense to me. Well, I mean, when you think about the reason why the school is established and how they're trying to create workers, not owners and builders and entrepreneurs, but it kind of makes you question the whole, because I got in trouble for selling candy in middle school too. I was making good money. It bought me some Jordans and everything. I was lit.
Yeah.
They couldn't tell me nothing, but we've learned, we had to rethink that you make money selling things. You don't make money working for money. You always got to be selling something, whether it's a product, a service, an experience, whatever that might be. And so what was dope is that your mom taught you that at a young age, and the school was wrong. They might have their own system and they might say, oh, you can get suspended for doing it. But the best thing your mom did was continue to push you forward. I'm curious to learn more about what life was like growing up, though. We usually start the show as that, but can you kind of tell us like what life was like growing up for you?
I grew up in a single parent household. Me, my mom, and my younger brother. And she made, like, I always talk to her now, and I'm like, thank you so much for just making our life smooth. We grew up in a low income area, but I never really seen my mom struggle. She kept it together pretty good. Started selling chips and juices in 7th grade. And then right outside, after you leave your house, it's like, okay, let me go make some money. So I started gambling. So I fell in love with making money that way. And
Dice,
yep,
cards.
dice, cards, tonk, pity, what you want to do. I'm with it. I was all about the money. Graduated high school. First thing, what's crazy is my counselor told me that I couldn't go to college because I was at like a 4th grade reading level, graduating college, and nobody really set me down and try to teach me how to read, how to actually learn. They just throw it in my face. But I knew how money worked. So I graduated high school and went off to college. I went to Concordia College in Selma, Alabama. Went there first semester, played football. Then I went to Tennessee State, and then I went to Georgia Perimeter. So I was switching schools every semester for 3 semesters straight. I switched schools, and a lot of people was looking down on me like, Sanchez, you keep switching schools, you ain't gonna never graduate. And I'm like, okay, I got something for you. And I was chasing my football dream. So once I graduated with my associate's degree in criminal justice, I went to Middle Tennessee State, where I walked on and played college football there. And I graduated with my bachelor's degree there. Went off to the college, went off through the workforce, and it was cool for about 3 months. And then getting into it with one of my co-workers. And one day I just had a blowout. Like, I was just like, bro, don't be coming at me like that. I'll tear you up, boom, boom, boom. And they threatened to fire me. And I never been threatened to be fired. I done had probably like 8 to 10 jobs, but nobody ever threatened to fire me. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that feeling. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna think about a plan. So I thought about a plan, got a job in Atlanta, and on my ride to Atlanta from Chicago, I thought about having a gym. And got back to Atlanta, hit the ground running, having Saturday classes every week for about 3 months. And then I ended up getting my own facility in October of that year. About 3 months later, I quit my job. And I was working out. Everything was working out smooth. I made about 18,000 the first year. And that second year, the second year entrepreneurship was a little bit different because I didn't handle the seasons yet. So I ended up being homeless for 9 months, and I had to stay out in the back of my gym.
Wow.
But not knowing, like, when people try to skip steps, the step that you miss is the step that's gonna bring you back down. So I ended up getting a brand new car right in the midst of me jumping into entrepreneurship, and now that was my rent. I was spending my rent on my car, and I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out why I wasn't making enough money. And that was the best time of my life, the 9 months, me being able to develop to become the person that I am today, to develop. You ain't got no bed, you ain't got no shower. It's nothing but thinking time now. So that's when I developed my skills. I started my t-shirt print company. So I started selling t-shirts. I went from selling t-shirts to I was like, I need another source of income. So I started selling tea, detox tea. I got into my apartment with me and my wife. Once we moved in there, the next year, I ended up investing into a after school program with one of my clients. And then my brother called me. He was like, hey, let's start an 18-wheeler business. I said, let's do it. And like every year, I was just willing to just keep going. I don't care if the business failed or not. I was willing to take that risk. And that's what I've been doing through my whole career. If I can give any advice to any entrepreneurs, you just looking at somebody who didn't stop. You will never like know that I failed or I did something because of my actions. My actions are gonna speak. And so during this process, I used to stand on the side of the road for 3 years, 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, working out on the side of the road with my sign. And people used to look at me crazy, like, that dude crazy. I'm dressing up for Halloween. I'm doing it all, man. Passing out waters. And still to this day, people still come to me from that. So that's been my entrepreneurship journey. Full time 7 years.
That's so powerful. Wow. That's crazy. And it's so crazy that by the grace of God, we don't look like what we've been through, because I would have never thought that story was going to come out of your mouth. But I have a question, and I think it's something Charles probably would have asked too. Like, your wife, like, how long have you guys been married, and how, like, going, because you said that you guys have a beauty bar together. So, like, she went through all of these ups and downs with you?
Yep, she's been with me. We've been together 8 years.
Wow.
So a year before everything started kicking off, and
Right in the beginning.
been there. He literally was there. Shit, I put a TV in the back of the gym, and we sat in the back of the gym and watched movies. And while I was being homeless, she slept on mattresses with me, like that type of love. And she been there ride or die, regardless. She be out there passing out flyers the whole nine. And she was like, hey, I want to start a business now. Because at first, you first looking at somebody struggling, you like, I don't want to struggle like that. So she eventually built up enough courage and was like, hey, I want to open up my own stuff. And so she started in the, I say the kitchen, she say the dining room. I say in the dining room, doing facials and lashes. And then she moved from there. We moved into a 2-bedroom, and she took over the 2nd bedroom. Half of the room was my t-shirt print company. Half of the room was her lash beauty bar. So we put a curtain up. Yeah. So you wouldn't know what's on the other side. And she did that for about 7 months. And she had too many people coming to my house. And I was like, hey, you got to get your own spot, because you can't have everybody coming to my house. I couldn't cook. I couldn't speak loud. I couldn't do nothing. So she ended up moving into my old gym. So I moved out of my gym. She moved into my gym, and I moved into another space in the same plaza. So we're doing this in 2020. During the heart of the pandemic. I just always know, like the rich get richer during the pandemic. And I was like, we got to come out this pandemic eventually. The people that's trying to hold on to their money, you can't get no more if you holding on to it. Like, in order to get more money, you got to open up these hands. And we open them up, and it's been a blessing ever since. So my clients go shop with her.
Yep.
And my clients also get their car washed by my mobile detail company.
Ooh.
So it's just about using one source to go to all of them. So while you come work out, Michelle, you'll be getting your car washed too.
And then go get my lashes done. Don't play. Okay.
That's it.
That is
so how did you get her to tap into the vision that early on before it had manifested?
Like listening to a lot of Master P. Like, I just know, like, he want to monopolize everything. And that's how I am. Like, even getting into t-shirt print, the dude who was printing my t-shirts, he was slow poking me. You gotta wait a week. You gotta wait. I said, okay, don't worry about it. I bought it on my own machine. I bought my own machine, did it myself. As far as my camera work, as far as my videos, I bought my own camera. I'm one of those ones that put my own money up for it. I ain't tell me no, okay, I'm gonna show you by doing it my way. And I know for a fact I want to own. It's all about ownership. That's what I'm learning. Like, we gotta own more stuff. And I know
what I like about your my bad. What I like about your story is you understand entrepreneurship how most people should understand entrepreneurship, and how I understand entrepreneurship. You got started with your gym by doing training. You didn't just say, like, I want to have a gym, and then you went out there, you got the budget, started getting the equipment. No, you started with what you had. You built up your clientele, and the clientele eventually positioned you to get the gym. And then your wife started with what she had, doing it in the kitchen, built up her clientele so much so that she had to get a space. That is the way that you mitigate the risk as an entrepreneur. A lot of people say entrepreneurship is risky, it's this, it's that. Like, no, not if you do it the right way. Not if you get started with what you have. You don't need to get out a bunch of whatever. You don't need to get no loans or whatever, in my opinion. Start with what you got and then build. That is the surefire way to grow. The best investor for your company is your customer. If you can get customers, you reinvest that into there, and not just the capital they give you, but then they're following. Now you're not just, and that's the reason why your credit going to that place is important, is you got a bunch of co-signers that don't know they're co-signers. Every single customer that you have that's saying, we're following you where you're going, That's the people that are helping you get that building, not just you. You're being followed by an army. And I think that is so dope. And if folks could grasp that, more of us could be making steps towards what we got going on. Being homeless, man, a lot of successful people have gone through a homeless experience. And I don't think it's necessarily homeless because they're like drunk and unable to function. It's because they have a vision and a goal and they're unwilling to give up on that goal. Can you talk to us a little bit more about like the homeless process and like what held you down? Because you could have got a job. You could have said, I'm done with this. Let me just get a job. I get an apartment next week. But you stayed true to the course.
So the crazy part about it is once I became homeless after about 2 months, I was like, you know what? I get a job. I work for UPS. This is when I found out I was unemployable. So I went to work at the UPS for like 2 nights. And on the second night, the dude came to me and he was like, hey, you're gonna have to speed it up. It's holiday season. I was like, oh, okay, bet. I'm like, bet. And then when he came back at the end of the night, I had already went to the bathroom and had a conversation with myself. I said, hey, bro, you can work harder for your own business than you're working for them. And when he came back at the end of the night, he was like, did you speed it up? I'm like, you ain't got to worry about it. My last night, bro. I'm like, my last night. I don't need to go through this. Like, this ain't enough money for me to be losing sleep. I'm going to work at 11, getting off at 3:30, waking up at 5 to start training. No, I was like, nah. So that's when I found out I was unemployable. So I just started being more disciplined. Started listening to more Les Brown, Jim Ron, listen to all the motivational speakers, and they just have a vision. And I learned how to add more value to people's life. The more you add to people's life, the more value you become. And so that's what I started doing by, even for gyms, giving them merchandise. At first I wanted to sell it, but if it's only costing me $5 to $7 to make it, and you're giving me $200 a month, why not give it to you? You're gonna wear my shirt when you go to the grocery store. You're gonna wear my shirt when you go out with your friends. I'm giving them nice quality stuff. So once I learned that part of it, it was a wrap. But I learned a lot doing that. I had places I could have went, but I was like, if I go there, it's only gonna make me soft. It's gonna make me soft. So I know going through this part, it comes with the game. I'm willing to lose it all because I know what I want. I know it has to work or it has to work. And all work works. I know that part.
What I like about that, man, is you get it. You get it. It makes more sense to give it away for the advertising. Everybody wants to spend money on Facebook ads, Instagram ads. You know what is a great ad? Somebody walking around wearing your shirt. That's a fantastic ad. Somebody giving you a testimonial, even if maybe you had to give them that course for free in the beginning to get those testimonials and get that feedback. That is a great use of your capital that really costs you nothing or next to nothing. Also, what I like about your story that we kind of skipped over, but like I'm really big on this, is sometimes, a lot of times, it's better to do it yourself than beg somebody. So if you can get somebody to do it and they do it the way you want to do it and it's efficient, great. But if I gotta beg you, if I gotta be at your beck and call, if I gotta be chasing you around to get something done, I'll pick up the paint roller and I'll paint the house, fam. I'll learn how to mud. I'll put the floors down before I beg you and let you delay my process to getting where I want to go.
Exactly.
We have a lot in common.
My mom used to always say, if I have to beg you, I'm not going to pay you. And I've always led with that because I've been very heavy in service-based business. And it's so funny because this is a full circle moment. The moment where I realized I was unemployable, I was a UPS hiring supervisor. And I used to have to be the one to fire the guys like you that weren't moving fast enough and pushing packages quick enough. And I realized that in that moment,
Man, you was on fire, my boy.
Well, I didn't, not him. I had to. We were I had to hire on at least 300 to 500 people a week myself and train them and get them through the package handling courses and get them, through the union and all that stuff. And I was working from 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. So I had that crazy shift. And, UPS gave me thick skin, but hell nah. Like, I was like, this is not for me. And immediately that's when I built the plan of Queen Cleaning Concepts, my first cleaning business. So I'm totally there with you, and to see someone else get it to the capacity that you get it, Sanchez, that's why you're so successful. Like, that's just what it comes down to, because you're going to do the work regardless what it looks like. Shout out to the people doing the work. I just got to say
That's
that.
it. Hey, other day, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Rick Ross said it. He said, when you run from the work, you hide from the money.
Oof.
I said, ooh. When you run from the work, you hide from the money. And I use that as fitness too. When you run from the workouts, you hide from your results. You can't get results if you don't do the work. So
I would say it's interesting to hear this from Michelle's perspective. A lot of times we only get it from like the other person's perspective of receiving the criticism from a supervisor. And one thing that we've discussed on here, maybe not here, but Tweet Talk, is a lot of times the people who are being jerks to you, they're getting pressure too. And so it creates like this really uncomfortable environment where they have to come at you like that. They have to talk to you like that. And so you end up resenting them, but really like they're just trying to keep their job. They're just trying not to get fired. And
that's really what it was. It was either me or y'all, and I'm sorry, but it was not going to be me.
Yeah. And sometimes you being fired may be the opportunity that you needed. Like me getting threatened to be fired, that gave me the opportunity to say, I don't want this to happen again. Or you can just keep going through that same cycle of people hiring and firing you. I was a great interviewer. I was a great worker. I feel like every entrepreneur is a great worker first. You gotta know how to wear multiple hats. You just don't get in the business, be the entrepreneur, be the CEO. You the website developer, you the marketer, you the customer service, you the janitor, you whatever position you gotta play. But you gotta be willing to put in the work.
I would have to agree with that. Yeah, and it's very, if you're somebody who's lazy, if you're somebody who's not going to put in the effort and the energy and the job, you're probably going to loaf at your business too, because the business never stops. It's Saturday morning, we all on here. A lot of folks are like, it's the weekend. I'm not, no, fam. Every single day I got to get it. Just before this call, I had another call. Every single day I got to get it.
You gotta like, especially for like self-development, like 2020 was a great year it was the best year for me. Actually, it wasn't worse than the year of me being homeless. I know that much. I'd rather take the problems I got now than the problems I used to have.
Amen.
But I took that time to develop myself, and taking it back to me having a 4th grade reading level, it's just nobody taught me how to properly read. So I took a reading course with this guy named Jim Quick, and he showed me how to read a book in a week. And I went from reading a book a week for 3 weeks to the 4th week, I read 2 books, 300-page books 1 week. And to develop that skill, it only took about 10 to 15 days, and just being extremely disciplined. Ooh. And so I'm learning how to learn faster. The faster you learn, the faster you earn.
Woo.
How do you read a book in a week?
How do you read a book in a week? It takes extreme focus. So I got a book right now. It's 296 pages. And so I got to read 44 pages a day. So I read
just break it down. Yeah.
You break it down. And then let's just say I read 30 pages in one day. Well, I know I got to make up for those extra 10 pages, 14 pages in the next couple of days. And you start asking yourself questions. You got to be motivated. I'm reading, like right now, I'm on like a journey of reading my 1 book a week, because I have a conference coming up. So I want to learn as much information as I can to figure out how to articulate it to my clientele, because people learn different ways. So I'm learning how to learn, so I can teach people how to efficiently be able to study and learn these different concepts. Because you can have all the tools, you can have all the skills, but if you don't have the right mindset to develop it into an asset, it's not going to work for you. You can have the right mindset and you can have the right skills, but if you don't have the right tools, it can't be an asset. So learning how to put those 3 things together to develop an asset that can give you the life that you want to live.
You're such an inspirational person. I didn't expect all this to come out of you, Sanchez. I'm not gonna lie. I just think it's amazing the way that your entrepreneurial journey has been like what some people's 15-year journey in such a short, compacted amount of time. So I have to give you kudos on, going from like one big up to big downs, big up, and now you're coasting. So I'm very heavy in time management and productivity. And I love to ask this question because you too are a serial entrepreneur. What practices do you use in time management and productivity to stay on course to make sure that you're hitting all the pinnacles in business? And how are you keeping yourself grounded?
I write out my schedule. So I have a composition notebook, and in my composition notebook at the top. So I'm practicing also writing with my left hand. So I write out all this with my left hand. So I'm writing the date out in Spanish with my left hand, and then I'm writing tasks in Spanish, and then I skip like 5 or 6 lines, and then I put my schedule, and I'll put 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, everything that I'm supposed to do throughout the day, and I put all my tasks up there, and I plug them into my schedule, and I write myself a note at the bottom, like, bro, keep going, like one more day, keep doing it. So just working on motivating myself, but I work better off a schedule, and I see why people used to have agendas in school because they focus. Because you just say, I'm gonna remind myself to do this. You might get sidetracked, and I'm really like a monk almost. Like I rarely come out the house if I'm not going to something that benefiting me as far as like educational wise or something like that. I don't go because when I leave the house, my son cries. So for me to leave my house, it's got to be something that's impactful that I'm leaving my house for, because I make the most money out of my house. So wherever I make the most money from, that's where I'm gonna be at.
That's what we're trying to tell folks, man. Why?
Right. Sanchez is like, he's like a projection of like the typical entrepreneur. Like for real, like if I'm not making money, why am I here? Like I just don't get it. Like if I'm not with my family, with my boys, if I'm not home, if I'm not comfortable, if I'm not in an environment that I enjoy to be in, why am I here? Like I just don't see that anymore. And it's just, there's so much to build, there's so much to do that is like, it's not beneficial. It's wasting my money. It's wasting my time. And I can feel you. Like we don't have that type of time to waste anymore. Like, it's time to really step it up. So you are so inspiring. I just have to say that. I'm over here like, yo, I need to go work. I need to go work out. I need to go eat right. I need to go get this work done. Please.
I appreciate just learning like what I learned a couple of weeks ago. Yes, it's too expensive. So when you tell people, yes, I can do that, or yeah, I do that for you, that takes time and energy. And those are two different resources that you don't get back. So me personally, I'd rather give you money than my time and energy.
Yeah, for real.
And so if you're always busy, you can't be available for the opportunities that need to happen. Like I ask my clients, hey, can you come to this mastermind? Oh, I got to go out with my girls. So now you're unavailable for the opportunity that can take you to the next level. So be real careful about your yeses. Say more no's. It builds a better relationship with the people around you if you can tell them no. Like, no, I can't do it.
You got to know when to know. I teach that all the time. And, a lot of people love to push that booked and busy, but you're really booked and broke because like there's too much month, not enough money. Like the people need to stop like idolizing that word busy. Busy is such a negative connotation. It's chaotic. It's unbalanced. We don't want to be that. That's why I speak productively producing over everybody's business, because that's the point where you're at, where you know where your time is going and you know where your profits are going. And that's why I think it's so important as a culture that we learn time management and productivity, because we have in our head that we got to hustle 18 hours a day when really your brain only works for 6. So if you can condense everything down and, like you said, a schedule, it allows you to see where you're at. But if you fall off of it, you go right back to that schedule and you get right back on track. So shout out to you for healthy habits and healthy routines, because a lot of people don't understand the value. Like this man runs 3 businesses, has a wife, has a son, runs his household, and he don't look like he's losing his mind right now, y'all. Like, do you see the material? So it's just, you got to look at what the results are. Results speak volumes.
Yeah, I think that's good.
So you mentioned something. You said you write your schedule down with your left hand, and you also write a note to yourself. Can you tell us why those 2 things are important?
Because I'm studying the brain more, the conscious and the unconscious mind. So when we're writing and we're doing 95% of the things that we do are unconsciously. You don't remember when you brush your teeth. You don't remember when you tied your shoe. But if you do it with your left hand, you got to think. And so when you use the opposite side of your body, you're able to use the opposite side of your brain. So when you write something in with your left hand, you're more cautious on what you write. The S is hard. Like now I can write an S with my right hand in 3 seconds, way less than that. Now with my left hand, I'm focusing on the top part. I'm focusing on the bottom part. Is the focus? There's a different type of focus, and I'm working on being more focused because the more focus you are, the more disciplined you are, the more freedom you have. And so, learning more Spanish, expanding my
More
mind.
focus. Yes.
Your mind is like a rubber band, and once you expand it, it can't come back down. You just
Yeah.
keep going. And so, when you get headaches or you feel like you're overwhelmed, it's just your brain growing. It's just like a regular muscle. So my workouts, as far as me, like now, I probably put in, I would say, since Friday, I do 5 to 8 hours a day of personal development or adding value to other people's life. I've been doing 3 hours for the last year and a half, but now I'm upping it to 5 to 8 because I heard a quote the other day and it said, amateurs play more than they practice, and professionals practice more than they play.
Whew.
And I was like, dang, ooh,
Ooh, that's like imposter syndrome. That's
That's how
yeah.
we
just
kind of.
imposter
I
syndrome.
try to tell folks that about trading. Everybody want to go live. Nobody want to practice. I'm like, bruh.
That's so true. There were so many gems Sanchez dropped on us. I did not. I'm sorry. Not saying that you're not as amazing as you are, but I just didn't expect it because I didn't know you did so many different things. I think that's so amazing. Like one big thing is for me is being. Hold on. One big thing is for me is being the serial entrepreneur and being the parent. How do you balance that in itself, like being a parent and also the businesses and also having a wife and all of those things?
It's still very new to me, but I always knew I wanted my life to be where it is. 7 years ago, when I was putting my schedule together, I always wanted to take my son to school. I wanted to get him off the bus. I wanted to be able to have lunch with my wife. So I created an environment where my work schedule, I can do all of those things. I can be home when I need to be home. So I said, you know what? I need to live close to my facility. I live 4 minutes away from my gym. I live 4 minutes away from the beauty bar. Like, so we
Very
don't
important.
spend a lot of time in the car because time is your most valuable asset. Eventually, we all gonna come time and we're gonna want more time. So I'm not gonna spend a lot of my time in the car. People spending 2 hours a day in their car. I spent After I listen to 2 songs, I'm already there. Or I can walk across the street and have lunch with my wife. She works out at my gym. Like, just spending more family time. That's all my whole goal. And I'm able to separate the times if I got to get up earlier so that I can make sure I get my personal development and I also spend time with my family.
I like it. So I want. She said that you do a lot of things, and there's some other things we need to discuss. But I want to talk about how you're helping other people make money. You've helped
Okay.
multiple people make six figures. You've helped a client make 20,000 a month. You helped a client get a 60K cash deal. Let's talk about those.
I did first I started developing my mindset back in 2020, 2019. I started investing into a lot of different programs, masterminds. And I learned that, you know what I mean, like when you have this conversation with one of your friends who's not on the same level as you, it's a little different telling them that I just spent $4,000 on a coaching program. I just spent 20,000 on a coaching program. So my last recent mastermind was 20,000. And with that 20,000, first I was kind of shaky about it, but after I got the information, I look back, it was one of the best investments I ever made because it took my business and doubled my revenue within the last 9 months.
Mm.
So I was able to use some of those skills as simple as even with my gym. I used to let a lot of money walk out of my gym. You'll come have a good time, and I'll be like, hey, next time you come, bring your card and I get you signed up. Not knowing I got to close that deal right there. Like there's no time like the present. So just switching up my words after you have a good workout, I'm gonna ask you, how was the workout? Okay, do you see yourself doing this over a certain amount of time? Yes and yes. You get 3 yeses, you got the deal. So I would ask, hey, do you have the card that you want to place on file? That's my third yes. And I don't say anything after that. So I
He's
asked
You're not
him,
even asking them. He's not
a
even
cinnamon
asking
clothes.
them. That's so dope. He's just saying, give me basically like give me the money now. Like
He
he
said
said yes.
he didn't ask if you want to buy. He said, do you have the card? They definitely got the card.
that's it. You bring your person. You bring your person and you're ready to spend. And all I gotta do is get you to my facility. I add enough value to you to where you're gonna be like, he giving me a towel, he giving me water, he giving me knowledge, he giving me how to fix my credit, how to grow my business. I don't have to do none of that, but I do it. I call myself the luxury gym.
Ooh,
I'm Wade. We have breakfast every first Saturday of the month.
that's so nice.
We have game nights. Like I just try to give as much value as I can to my clients when I can.
And that is why you're still in business. You went through the pandemic. You're going to continue to grow and do what you do. And I think that's amazing. I think the next time we go to Atlanta, Charles, we got to stop by the luxury gym and see the experience because I'm ready to go work out. Like, what are we doing? You know, and I think it's cool. A win for me is I saw my personal trainer twice this week. I started on Wednesday and I took a rest day on Friday. I'll be back on Monday. But in those 2 days alone, yes, I'm very sore, but my energy levels have been different. My attitude has been different. My mentality on getting my other work done has been different. So I can definitely see where that health is wealth is coming in. You know, I just hit 30, so I'm at an age now where I can't eat dairy anymore. Red meat don't sit right. And it's just like, at what point are we going to take it? At what point are we going to, take it serious? So, and, I'm a mom and they're not slowing down anytime soon. So, how old is your son?
14 months.
Oh, you have a baby.
A baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh, that's a whole different ball game. So me just learning parenthood and entrepreneurship, it can be difficult, but we got a tribe that helps us out. Her mom, my mom, grandparents, everybody knows what mission we're on. So them knowing what type of mission that we own, they always chip in.
yes. Shout out to the grandparents because my mom and dad, they go the mile for me too. And I don't know how I would do what I do if it wasn't for them. So shout out to the grandparents.
I
Yeah.
have a tip for the parents out there. One thing that I noticed about parents is if you handle your business, they don't mind helping you.
Oh yeah,
So
no.
if you out there crushing it, doing things, making things happen, they love to participate. But if you somebody who's just sitting around chilling, doing nothing,
Dropping the kids off on the weekend.
right? Your parents will be like, nah, I got stuff to do too.
Exactly. So, crazy thing about a lot of this, I don't know how long have you guys been in entrepreneurship?
For me, I would say it's been like 5 or 6 years. I would say that things have recently kind of taken off, like so I could actually leave the job. So I had attempted to leave my job 4 years ago, didn't work. I had to go back to work. And not that it didn't work. I got pushed into going back to work because we were gonna have a baby. We ended up not having that baby, but and then 2 years after that, then I actually left. So I fully left the job in like 2020.
Listen, that's amazing. And then I just hit 5 years on July 11th. So, and he's the reason why I actually started my first business. So we couldn't do it anymore. We had to get right into it. 4 weeks after I had him, I got my LLC registered and I was like, we can't do this no more. And I made like 17 grand in my first 90 days of cleaning houses. And so it's just like, when you know what you want or what the vision is, it doesn't matter what's going to stop you. I clean toilets. I've done it all. I've cleaned up poop off the floor. I've had a catering company. I've had a tax office. It's just, there's something about entrepreneurs that just don't give up. And at the end of the day, if you throw enough spaghetti at the wall, something's going to stick.
Something's going to stick.
And
table.
Exactly. So if you could drop 3 gems for our viewers right now on anything that we've talked about, what would those 3 gems be?
I would say my top 3 would be eliminate. Like, you want to really go to the next level, you want to evolve, you want to change your life. I would say eliminate any distractions, any and every distraction that's being a distraction to you, because distracted people like to distract people. So you who you hanging around because they want to get you distracted. Number 2 is execution is worship. So if you're a person that execute on information, they can't keep up with you. You just got to keep executing, making it happen. Like, I don't care if it's just small things, like writing your goals on the back of your phone, executing on that type of information. When you read these books, you do these courses, they tell you to do something, do it. Don't second guess it. If you already knew the information, you'll already be doing what you supposed to be doing, and you're not looking for it. And then number 3 is evolve. So evolving means changing the person that you are, like having the will to be able to change. It's hard to change because 95% of the things we do is on autopilot anyway. We just do it because we're used to doing it. So when you used to talk about change, that talks more about your conscious mind. So be more conscious about what you're watching, what you're tuning into. Get more educated. We've been entertained long enough. It's time to get educated on the information so that we can change our situation.
So before we let you go, you have a conference coming up October 22nd, the Health and Wealth Connect. Can you talk to us about that?
The Health and Wealth Connect. I've been doing conferences since 2019. So I started off with 4 people. I helped those 4 people scale their business. Then I had about 16. Then I went to 20. Then I went to 35. And now this spot now is 85 people. With the Health and Wealth Connect, I'm gonna be going over the right mindset, because you gotta have the right. There's a science to being an entrepreneur. There's a certain mindset that you have to have. You have to have a relentless mindset. So I want to show people what they're really capable of doing. And then number 2, I want to help you with the tool set, because you just need a set of tools, because you can have the right skill set, you can have the right mindset, but without the right set of tools, you can't develop the asset that you want to develop. And then skill set is something that works back with the mindset, because it's going to take time to develop that skill. If you want a skill that you like, even with you with trading, I done traded too. It takes time to learn those skills. And a lot of people miss that part of working, that part of learning how to working on your skills. Don't think it's going to happen so fast. Like some trees don't grow. They said an apple tree, it takes 6 years for an apple tree to grow. If you go out after year 1 and dig up that apple tree and put it somewhere else, it's going to take another 6. So you got to develop those skills and just know it's going to work. So I'm there to show you exactly how to do that, and leverage your business and scale your business using other people's money, whether that's clients, whether that's credit, whether that's a loan, whatever it is. I want to show people that they can go get that type of money, because we wasn't really taught to use our credit cards to start a business. You use your credit cards to buy gas, not when you get a 15-month no interest $20,000 credit card. Why would you just buy gas for 15 months? It don't make sense. So just teaching them those different principles, and whatever works for me, it worked for you. It worked for the next person. The law of gravity, it works. If I jump up and you jump up, we both gonna come down. So it's in with business principles.
Man. So
So
we got 4
fun.
wrap-up questions.
Okay.
I haven't asked these questions in so long that I kind of forgot them. But I'll say, what's your favorite business or investing book?
Investing. You say it one more time.
What's your favorite business or investing book, or even mindset book?
I would say Limitless by Jim Quick. Limitless by Jim Quick. He's showing us how to remember names, because I got over 90 members. I know everybody's name. Learning names and reading faster. Limitless by Jim Quick. That's my number 1 book. I done read it like 3 or 4 times, and it's gave me a different view every time I listen to it or I read it.
I didn't ask you this, but did you use business credit to fund the equipment in your gym? How did that look?
No, I didn't have that much gym equipment. All I had was jump ropes. I used to go to Goodwill and get equipment, and I just used what I had. I can get you tired. We ain't got to use nothing. I can get you tired. We're gonna do jumping jacks. We're gonna push up. Yeah. I don't need no equipment. That was the least. Hey, I tell you, up in 20 minutes, you're gonna be like, you're gonna think it was some equipment there. Yeah, but I didn't go out like that, because the simple fact that I feel like you're chasing a dragon's tail after you start doing that. So now you're trying to make money for the credit cards or the credit, and then that puts more stress on you. I'm the type, I pay cash. I pay cash for something like that. That was a little, if it's like something like 50,000, then yes, I use my credit, but not me, not for that situation. I didn't
I
use
like
it.
that. That's a really, I think people need to hear that, because we're in an era where that's the big push is business credit. And I'm not against business credit. I use business credit, doing a flip with some business credit right now, but part of the funding stack is the business credit. But I think what's cool is what you said is right. It's like you don't want to be in a position where you're working to pay Amex. Now Amex is your boss. You went from not having Michelle being your boss, now you got Amex and Capital One being your boss.
Hey,
It's
they on
like,
your head. They own you. They own your month. That makes
OPM got other people in the chokehold right now. So I think the accuracy in what you're teaching to make sure that people are using the business credit for the right reason. You'll hear me say it all the time. You got all this business credit, but you ain't got a business plan. You don't got to put business model. You don't got nothing. So shout out to that.
I don't want to have the money and not have a plan. Like, you're going to fumble the bag. I'd rather get the bag and know how I got the bag and lose the bag than to get the bag and don't know how I got the bag. Because that's going to hit a little different when you can't get that bag back.
yep,
That does happen.
Yeah. I see it all the time.
What does wealth mean to you?
Say that one more time for me.
What does wealth mean to you?
Wealth means to me being able to do and live the life that you want to live. It's not all about the money, because I'm very wealthy right now, with just spirit, emotionally, physically. I get a chance to do what I want to do every day. If I don't want to go into work today, I'm off. Like, I got a photo shoot later on. Like, wealth means just being able to do what I want to do and help provide for the people that I love. And wealth means different from different people. It's not just money. It's not just the material things. It's about the well-being of your life. Are you in control of your life? That's wealth to me. I don't care what it is. That's wealth to me. Me being in control of my day.
What sets apart successful business owners and entrepreneurs from those who give up, fail, or never get started?
I would say the mindset behind why you're doing it. What's your purpose? Like, everybody that I know that is an entrepreneur that's doing well, they just got that fight spirit. You can talk to them. Like, you'll know within the first 2 or 3 minutes of talking to somebody if they got that dog in them. And they never give up spirit. You just be like, oh yeah, we cool. Just like how we all just got on here, like, oh, we all bosses. Like, we bosses at different levels. You know, we bosses. A boss know another boss. It's the language. I can tell the way the topics that you bring up, the things that entertains you, trains you. So,
ooh, hold up. That's a bar. The things that entertain you, train you. I'm tweeting that.
yeah, like, I heard that and I was like, dang, like, and the crazy thing about it, the people that entertaining you, they're getting educated on how to entertain you even more. So that's why I say let's stop getting entertained. Let's get educated. We've been entertained long.
100%.
We get every couple months they get us off with something. This monkeypox, they're trying to get us off topic. No, we trying to build wealth. We trying to build. No, we're not just gonna keep following these trends. Every couple months they trying to throw it. The biggest way to fix everything, poverty, racism, all that, man, get you some money. Get you some money. That's the quickest way to solve, because people listen to people with money. You ain't
Get
got
to
no
a bag.
That's so true. He said, because it kind of goes back to what you said earlier. If you're focused, you can get your freedom. And he's 100% right. There's always something to derail somebody. We went from COVID, then we went to a lot of recession talk and inflation talk and interest rate talk. And now we're talking about monkeypox. And I'm like, no, like, my goal is to be always bullish, always pushing forward, always pressing forward. Because if you stop, like, you can't make no progress when you stop. You can't take action when you're stopped. So it's like I'm always looking for the opportunity in whatever we're existing in. And we rewarded for it. Y'all seen what happened? They were talking recession for 3-4 months. Yeah, the market might have reclined or declined, but the last month has been amazing.
Man,
I thought I saw Charles post something say he made like $150K in a month with the stocks right now.
It was 123.
Oh, listen, the fact that you even
Talk,
you got my mom like,
talk,
over here, like, wait, what?
talk your talk. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That just gives you. Aren't you glad that you're able to print money? Like, I'm so glad. I pray to God all the time to just making me a money magnet. Like, I can literally come up with an idea right now and do something, and I go make 1,000, 2,000, whatever type of money I want to make because I have that vision. You know what I mean? I never saw somebody give 100% and lose. That is
Bar.
hard.
That's
I ain't
another
seen no.
bar.
So it's just about just pushing yourself to that limit, man. Whenever you want to, if you're in entrepreneurship and you thinking about quitting, that's good. That means you right there by growth because you're gonna learn some stuff at that level that you own, so that you can go to the next level. If you play a video game, you have to learn to master that level before you go to the next level. If they let you go to level 10 without going through level 1, level 2, level 3, then you're gonna lose automatically. Are you setting yourself up for failure because you comparing your chapter 1 to somebody else chapter 10? It don't work like that.
Yeah.
Charles.
Amazing conversation. We got to get an Instagram live.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
and we need him in TCM. They would love to wake up to something like this.
Yes,
For
we
real.
need that
Like,
too. We definitely got to get that on the books.
Sanchez, I'm gonna send you the link to our mastermind as well as put you in our Facebook group.
Okay.
It's so many like-minded individuals, but when I say that I feel so inspired, I did not expect this out of this conversation today, and it's to the extent of what you said previously. You could tell at the level someone's at by the questions they ask and the way they answer the questions. And it's like you a seasoned chicken. This ain't no new pandemic, whatever's going on. You've been in the game, and I can admire it, and it's so inspiring. And listen, we already got you lined up for 2 other things with us because you gotta come back.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I definitely appreciate the love, man. Like from the first time we met, like Jay told me so much about you. I'm like, shit, I feel like I know her. Like, hey,
Right? She told me a bunch
and when
about
we
you.
saw
So
each other,
it's so dope, Charles, because one of my clients, Jay Fit, she's actually in the group as well. She just opened up a gym in Cali. That was her mentor. And she connected us together at InvestFest. And he walked over to the table, and I already knew who he was because she's shown me pictures of him. She's talked about him so much. So I felt like I worked out with him already. So it was so dope. And I think the biggest thing is like that entrepreneur vibe, that energy. It's like when you know somebody, it's like you know them and you don't question that. And shout out to being authentic, because you can pick people apart really, really quick. And I'm just so grateful for this conversation, especially on a Saturday. You just took us to school on a Saturday. So shout out to that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Shout out to Jay Fit. She's in the mastermind. We're supposed to be doing an interview at her gym. So hopefully next week I'll be getting out to there to do an in-person interview at her gym so we can help her promote that and get the word out. That should be dope. And it's cool to see the connection because I've been talking to Jay Fit all week. So to see that you're her mentor, that is super cool. I know she's in good hands. Obviously, she's created her own gym in Southern California. Ain't nothing cheap in California. So yeah, great conversation. I know you guys took a lot of value out of this. It's good to be back. It's good to be back in the saddle. I mean, post InvestFest. Michelle, you got anything that you want to have? You have any announcements or anything?
Yeah, so I am dropping the flyer today for the I'm gonna do another free webinar on burnout. It did really, really well when I just did a very basic reel on it, and I didn't realize how many people were impacted by it. So I was like, listen, I'm gonna run a play. I'm gonna do a free mini webinar, and it's gonna lead into a course that I've created. Shout out to Jacqueline Plains because she pushed me to do it at InvestFest. So I now have a course on how to combat burnout, how to get back into the game, and how to win after you feel defeated. So shout out to people just inspiring me to be the best version of myself. And so always got to give that freebie to the people so that you guys can get your head out of the clouds and get on track to where you need to be. So that's dropping today. I'm saying it on camera live so I can make sure I stay the course and do it. And listen, one thing I'm going to leave with this is that I have a whole page of notes, and I'm so ready to get to work and just put this mindset in. Like the fact that you are learning how to write with your left hand to give yourself more discipline. I'm like, yo, that is like a whole nother level of mastery.
Yeah, I was like, you need to include that inside of your training, Michelle. Like, hey.
Yeah, I was like, yo, that's crazy. Think about it.
It's
something that you literally have to focus on every little thing. And so shout out to you for inspiring me today. I really appreciate the conversation, and I'm so happy that we did this. Like, this is amazing. This was such an amazing interview. And it was great this was our first interview back from InvestFest. It had so much in it. So shout out to that.
Yeah. If y'all ever see me live on Instagram, man, send me a request to get into the lives. I ain't gonna say I'm trying. I'm going live 2 times a day. This is my day. This would be day 6, going live 2 times a day. So I will be going live later on today. Feel free to hop on there, man. Promote whatever you got going on. Like, it's a family, man. I want everybody to win. Everybody to win. It takes a group to accomplish the mission that we trying to do, man. I'm ready, man. And hit me up by them stocks too, man. I'm with that. I do that.
I got you.
One
thing I was going to tell.
That's a whole nother 30, 45 minutes right there.
Right, it is. I was going to tell you guys, one cool thing about entrepreneurs, man, is you'll never see a true entrepreneur that is a hater of other entrepreneurs. It's just nothing but love, because when we see people winning, it shows what's possible for us. And so it's like, man, like, you did that, cool. Like, I just got to follow the blueprint now, and vice versa. Like, as we're inspired, they're inspired. And that's why I like this podcast, because you, like, even having your own podcast, you grow. So this conversation, I've grown. I know
I've been talking about getting a podcast for so long, because I accumulate so much information, and I'm like, I got to get it out to people before I forget it. I done forgot more information than I know right now, because
and just real quick, you already have a lot of content for your podcast already. You can create the anchor, you can strip the Instagram videos that you have, and you can use those as a couple steps for your first podcast, so that you don't feel overwhelmed, and then just start recording. But every time you go on live, that's a podcast episode.
Yeah.
And a YouTube episode.
And a YouTube video too. Is very, very good for YouTube. You guys, the options course has sold out. I just put that flyer up there because that's what I got. But what you definitely need to check out is the Freedom Pack. The Freedom Pack is we're running that sale today, $65 for the Freedom Pack. That includes the options course and also includes all the other courses, such as the Crisis Money course, the options book, the REIT course, the Turo course, the vending course, the taxes course, and much, 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 much more. Yeah, we just loaded it up. So click the link in the bio. It's definitely right there at the top. It's an amazing episode of the Millionaire Talk Show with my co-host, Michelle Welch, the best co-host in the world. She'll be out here crushing it. Nobody works harder than Michelle. And of course, our amazing guest. Where can they find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they support you? What you have going on, man?
I'm on Instagram, Mr.healthandwealth, Mr. with a dot. Come on there, show some love. There's always free tips that I give out, man. I just want to share this information and impact as many lives as I can. So y'all shoot me a DM, tell me how y'all like the episode. Y'all keep supporting these people here. Like, y'all doing amazing. Y'all just inspired me to get my stuff together for my podcast. So I'm glad to just be around people who inspire me, and I'm able to inspire them at the same time.
Yeah. Dope. Well, that wraps up another episode of the Millionaire Talk Show. Charles Oaksby, Top Millionaire, Michelle Wizelch, high productivity and time management coaching. We out of here.